And this is, today is June 21st, and this is our quarterly meeting for the Thicket of Diversity. And I want to welcome everybody and thank you. I didn't give you much notice on the meeting because we didn't schedule it last time, but it worked because I really didn't know what my schedule was going to be this summer. And it looks like most everybody's going to be able to attend. And I'll record this to share with whoever's not. So right now we have Randy Yoder, and we have Bart is here, and Carl Knight, Bart Gaskin and Carl Knight. And I know Diane can't make it, and I know that Scott can't make it because Scott's in Tanzania. So that's fun. So I sent the minutes by email, and I hope y'all were able to go over that. Mm-hmm. You can't hear my TV, can you? Is that okay? Do you hear background noise? Okay. All right. And do we have any corrections to the minutes?
I didn't see any.
Okay, then I guess we can approve them as submitted. I believe I can do that. And on the funding committee, I can report because I have the Diane sent me the bank statement, and so I know as of May we have 14,800. Wait a minute, let's see, is that the right account? Oh no, that's the science account. Oh shoot, science account. Okay, here we go, wrong one. Okay, I was worried, 14,000. Okay, so 14,823 is in the account if we do a science conference. So that's how much is there. And then in the TCEQ account, we have $42,938.89. And we did pay 2 bills to the Silsby B and to the examiner. And so that, I should have totaled it, but I didn't. But anyway, that comes out of the funds available for ads. We had 6,000 that was available for ads. So those 2 ads that ran for a month, it's going to be 6,000 less those ads. And I did get the TCEQ report completed. They were very, very, very slow at getting me the application. And the day it was due, I received the application. So I struggled to get that done, but she said that they were down to only her at the TCEQ Austin office, one person doing these reports. So they're stressed, but I did get the report in, and I'll get the next one in. So that where we still haven't granted any more research. Diane sent out some letters several months ago to past funders. We hadn't heard anything on that, but you never know. So anyway, we're still hoping we'll get more money in, but in the meantime, we still have money available for new projects, like two projects or 1.5. Okay. We still have the same open projects. We have leeches and tiger beetles. And the only annual report that came in was tiger beetles, but he did not share it with me. He only shared it with the Park Service. And it really is helpful for me he did give me kind of a report. I mean, he an informal report, but I really like to see the actual report. So I'll be pushing to get copies of that. He was a little apprehensive because I don't think he heard back from the Park Service after he submitted his report. So, But anyway, they're still ongoing, and we have, and I just talked about the ads, and I sent a copy of the ad. It turned out really nice, and we may want to run it again. Of course, it was a small ad in paper. It was like a quarter of a page, but it had the QR code. But we could use this like a flyer, and it did go in the BTA bulletin. So, and Carl, you'll recognize the photograph on the ad.
That girl on the right,
Uh-huh.
that's the big Thicket, has a PhD now and has her own laboratory.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we'll get some mileage out of that ad, and we, may decide to run it again. Although we didn't get any responses, but you just have to keep stirring the pot. So Dr. Scott, his podcast, I've listened to a couple of them, and they're pretty good. And it's Wild World, and I wrote a little release on it that came out in the bulletin as well. And so I assume he's in Tanzania. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Tanzania. How do you say that?
I would say Tanzania, but
Tanzania. Anyway, I would assume maybe it's for another episode of Wild World, but it looks pretty exciting work, and they're well done, and it looks like it's funded by a Rice University travel group, which looks amazing. But you can look at the bulletin. The BTA bulletin is lovely. I'm just really proud of that publication. Phoebe has done a super job in coordinating that, and
I agree.
I think it's something for us to be really proud of in our outreach.
Hey, Mary Kay, sorry to interrupt, but Kimberly just emailed, wanted me to let you know she's in a meeting. That's why she couldn't be in our meeting right now. She's stuck in a work meeting still. She said.
Okay. Well, I'll let her know it was recorded, but I sure appreciate her letting us know.
Yeah.
And that happens. So I've been having fun every Tuesday in June, and I'm coordinating the summer reading program with the Friends of Kuntz Public Library. So this year we did a have fun with nature. Nature. That was the theme. And so we had just a big kickoff. We had Sierra Club, BTA, Master Naturalists, Education First donated water. We had the Texas AgriLife, and we had a train, Lion Club train. So we had a tent and all these activities, and the train and Kona Ice, and that was wonderful. And then yesterday we had Village Creek State Park, Skins and Skulls, and he did a program, and it was delightful. And actually, I asked the ranger if his name is Alex Stamatis. Skins and Skulls is a program that is generally done, for kids, but I think it could be a science cafe. I asked him what he thought about it for a science cafe, because I thought it was really interesting, and he could change it instead of talking about, the skulls and the teeth and, what the different, what they eat. He could go into a little bit more on conservation and facts. And anyway, I thought I'd ask you guys if you think he would be appropriate for a science cafe. Yeah.
So.
I think he could do a good job. He also told me what we did is we had the library, our meeting room space is a little bit limited. So we walked across the street to the County Seat Music Hall, which is an old, it's an old building, but it was a perfect facility for our meeting. And Alex said that he had actually performed there once. So I'm not sure what he plays, but I'll ask him. So he may play the guitar. He might be able to add that to his program at the login.
Yeah.
I mean, if the music was appropriate, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I thought, oh, well, that's kind of fun. And so I'll get back with him. He said that Sunday he's doing a walk. It's citizen science, and he's going to be sharing the iNaturalist app. And then he mentioned another app that I wasn't familiar with. I should have written it down, but it's for birding. It's similar to iNaturalist, but it's with birds. So I think he has some information and does activities that would help us. Kathy Smith no longer works at Village Creek State Park, and I don't know. She is still involved with Master Naturalists, so I want her to stay on our board because she came and worked at the library and had a booth with Master Naturalists that was it was related to birds. It was really fun. It was a hands-on activity and really did a good job. So I do want her to remain, if it's okay with y'all, remain with the TOD. I have her new contact information. Dale has changed her on our cover page on the website. But I don't think she checks her emails very often. So I don't know if she got this message. But anyway, I am communicating with her. And I thought I would share with you guys the taxa tally, which I had updated it for the last meeting, but I didn't really go on into it very much. You'll notice, I don't know if you ever compare, but the one that was done by Terry, the one that Mona did had a pretty header and looked good. And then when Terry updated her facts, the header went away. And so anyway, I pulled it up. It is in black and white, but I don't know if it's because I printed it in black and white to save ink, but I might have. But you can see what the data that I added. The most recent is bold-faced. So the bees has increased and the leeches has been added, and tiger beetles, let's see. Yeah, the tiger beetles are, I don't have that's what he gave me in an email, but I need to get the formal report, but that's what he shared in an email. And so anyway, at least we've had it updated because it had been a while since that had been updated. And I still agonize over the data. And, you know, again, we have money, we can pay a data person, but to me, it's just horrible that I cannot, at a glance, tell you the names of the species that are new to science, new to the park, new to the state, new to the US. I mean, we've collected this, it's in our reports, and I should be able to put my finger on what those species are. And it's hidden in the data. So I'll just keep pointing that out. And if we can get somebody that can help with, and it's getting more and more complicated because some of the files are now, you know, the software gets updated and it gets difficult to access those older files. So, you know, we can end up having some challenges with that. But so it's still a problem that I'm not satisfied with. And I guess, be like a terrier and keep trying to work on that. And we still need to research the past researchers to update their publications. And Randy, I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And I looked at the website, and we're not really too far behind on most of our researchers have something on our website, but it's always good to see see if there's anything added. So, and Bart, that might be something you might want to tackle, like one of our researchers, and then go to Google Scholar and see if you find any additional research. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of like a wormhole though, because once you get into it, then you'll see, oh, there's this or there's that, or you might try a different search, like I might try Big Thicket. But have you ever looked at Google Scholar? Are you familiar with what it is? Okay, Randy, give just a little short.
It's Google's index for scientific publications. So it's a good way to search for. You can search it by subject or by author, or by if you find a paper, you can see who cited that, who else cited it. It's really useful. I use it a lot.
Okay.
And it's easier to use than some of the libraries, like the university libraries will pay for really expensive things that do kind of the same thing, but sometimes they're a little harder to use, I think, and not that much better. But anyway, it's a good way to track down what a certain person has published in the literature, or a certain topic.
Access it by
you can
just put it in Google Scholar.
If you go into Google and type Scholar into the Google search, Google Scholar will come up. Yeah.
If you have an hour, I could give you the name of a researcher and you could just dig and see if you can find anything, what comes up. And then, that'd be something you could do that'd be really helpful. So, and it's interesting because it's all related to what we're doing. And, it might be a way we could get some more researchers too, but, anyway, so that's something to keep working on. And I'm surprised the field research station is not getting much use, but I don't know why. I don't know why it's not getting much use. But we do have Dr. Amanda Adams she has an initial stay, and I don't know if she's already come. And then she's going to be here in August to return, but she's with the Bat Conservancy. And so the first time she comes is to check everything out. And the second time she comes, she'll be with 4 people and they'll stay at the FRS a number of days. And she said that she would like to do a science cafe for us. So I have booked her for August 7th at the Log On Cafe, and it's going to be Heroes of the Night. And so that's good. We have a science cafe scheduled.
That's great. That's an interesting topic, dude.
Yeah. And
that will get to a lot of people, I think.
I think so. And Diane, she told me about it. She generated, I didn't know anything about it, and she asked me what I thought. And I thought, great. And then I asked her if she asked me if I wanted to take over trying to organize it. And I said, yeah, I can. So I did. I have a press release, but I'm not going to share it until a little closer to the event. I skipped. Okay. Back to the field research station. I'll try and go by there. It should be clean, but the Big Thicket Association is going to have their July meeting there. And I'm just kind of giving you a heads up. Bart, have you been out there before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good.
I think is our next board meeting going to be held there? Do I remember that right?
So that was the last I heard it was. That was so.
That'd be an opportunity if Bart makes that meeting to see the place.
To see it, it would be good. And I would feel better. I may go out there just to kind of check it out to see nobody's been there, but you can have things like bugs on the floor and little things like that. They had a bunch of it sounds bad, but sewer gnats that come up through the plumbing they just, a lot of dead bugs in the shower. That's the main problem I've seen when it doesn't get used. But I kind of feel like I need to. I'll try and go out there and check it out. And then July 14th, and this is kind of related to what I've been doing with the summer reading program with the little ones. But I received some grant funds, so I'm real excited about it. It was for the Friends of Kuntz Public Library. Okay, Kimberly's on. Okay, let's see. Let me get Kimberly.
Hi, Mary Johnston.
Hello, welcome. And I'm sorry you had to work.
No, it's okay. I was on a call and I didn't know if the meeting was still ongoing, so I guess it is.
Yeah, okay. So I've got it recorded so you can catch up with everything.
Okay, great.
One of the things I'm sharing is that on the new business, well, we have the BTA will have their quarterly board meeting at the Field Research Station in July. And if you have not seen the Field Research Station, I don't know the day. Randy, do you know the day of the meeting? Is it like
probably have it on my calendar? I'll check.
Okay. But if you haven't seen the Field Research Station in Saratoga, it's pretty cool. And so I'm inviting you to come check it out. You don't have to stay for the whole meeting, but we usually eat lunch. So
okay, excellent. And what was the date on that?
Randy's checking, but
okay.
The Field Research Station is the facility that we have for researchers that come to spend the night. And it's not being used as much this summer, but we do have the Bat Conservancy. Dr. Adams is going to be staying there and doing some research on bats. And Dr. Adams is also going to do a science cafe for us at the Logon Cafe on August 7th. So you might want to mark that date down. Those are pretty cool. They're in the evening from, this one will be from 7 to 8. You have the date, Randy?
July 8th is what I have.
Okay.
July
8th is the BTA meeting at the Field Research Station. And, we have a business meeting, but if you just want to come and check the place out, I'd say come around 11 or so. Then we have, the Science Cafe is August 7th at the Logon Cafe from 7 to 8. And, the July 14th, the Big Thicket Art, History, and Literacy Social. Okay, so for the library, I wrote several grants and I was funded for the summer reading program for the children. And I was able to buy a lot of nature books and get actually $1,000 worth of books, and then a matching grant of $500. So all the kids are going to receive these real pretty nature books. And part of what I wrote into it was to have a social at the Kirby Hill House Museum, which is a really neat older building. I don't know if any of you've been there before, but in its heyday, it was a mansion, and now it's the Kirby Hill House Museum. It's right next to the library. But we've had so many activities going the month of June for the summer reading program that I couldn't justify the Kirby Hill House. So I added an extra event because I have actually $750 to rent the facility, and probably the Hardin County Museum. And so I'm going to have a social, and that's going to be July 14th from 1 to 4. And different environmental groups are going to come and they're going to talk about what they have. And I have all these exhibits that I made. Actually, it's kind of a craziness, but they're really nice. And I've only shown a few of them, but I have like 50 exhibits that I made during COVID. So when I wrote the grant, I knew I had the exhibit, so it's not going to be any trouble for me to decorate the whole museum with the exhibits. So anyway, I invite you to that. So it's a Big Thicket Art, History, and Literacy Social. And it's 1 to 4. And we'll probably have tours of the genealogy building that's next door. That organization, the Hardin County Genealogy Association, and then the Hardin County Museum is right there too, all within a block. And so that'll be fun. And that'll be our, the Big Thicket Dash. It tied into, and I knew it was before the 50th anniversary for the National Preserve, but in my grant, I said that we were going to herald the upcoming 50th anniversary. So it's, anyway, it's related, and the Park Service is going to help with having a ranger there. That's all they have to do. Ranger Max will be there. So they're supporting, but it's a minimum effort work, minimum work on their part for this event. So anyway, it'll be fun, and we'll have cookies and ice cream, and you're invited. And I thought I better go ahead and mention that because we won't be meeting, we might meet before BTA Day, but we might not. So we haven't scheduled our date, but we'll have a TOD exhibit again. And Randy, I thought I'd ask about your canopy. That's so helpful.
Canopy.
Yeah. So we'll
Sure.
tell them we'll have our TOD exhibit, and we'll have a canopy at BTA Day. And I think, what is that? Might as well put the date on that one. It's towards the 1st of October.
Check.
I'm so glad you have your calendar, Randy.
I'm glad I have it in there. I don't usually keep up with it as well as I should. Let's see. I got the 7th, October 7th.
Okay, and I wonder, is that let me look. You know, we changed our date. No, that 7th is correct, because the 14th, the preserve will have it. We usually have it the second week in October, but we're changing it to the first week in October to accommodate the preserve's activities. So
I have it down as Collier's Ferry this year.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kimberly, that's something else you might want to write on your calendar is BTA Day on Saturday, October 7th at Collier's Ferry. And that's a pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. BTA days. Your kids will like coming to that, I think, Kim.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
and I believe I have it written down, but I will make sure to mark it down if I don't.
So those are, that's basically all I have. It's a short meeting. We're kind of weak on the research at this point, and we're weak on, I did try and recruit volunteers with the ads. I'm going to keep working on it. And I think probably the next thing I need to do is I need to email the researchers and just kind of remind them, we're here, and work with us. The bat research, I'm looking forward to meeting her, and she's real enthusiastic. And I wrote a press release. That's what I'm going to put in the paper. She looks really cute. So
I know the park was the Wayne and the people at the park were interested in bats. Is that why that's how it all came. It's coming through the park. Good.
So we're not funding it. But Diane evidently knew about it because she reserved the FRS. And so that's where it's coming from. It's from the park. So, so that's great. That's great. And, so do I have anything else that,
I went to the meeting up in the Discover Life in America meeting.
Yes.
And it turned out very well. And they had the 25th years that they've been in business. And Todd Pritchard was there, and they had a pretty good turnout. And they had a book on the guy that was there was Douglas W. Tallamy, Tallamy, but he's a conservationist. and he's a nationally known, he was doing books on trees and stuff like that, but he had a great presentation on what was going on. And so I looked at a couple of things that they're doing, and that they have the meetings like we're doing right now. And the question I have, one of the things I came up with that I forgot, and do we have a mission, TOD mission statement, and I'm not familiar with that one, and I should know it. But let me read this one to you. Is connecting scientists and communities and discovering, understanding, and conserving the natural world.
That's good.
That's the DLIA. So we might, if we don't have one, we probably need to get one.
That's an excellent point. We may have one, but I don't have it handy. I don't have it handy. I have Big Thicket Natural Heritage Trust. I have the library. I need to look that one up. Shame on me. Thank you, Carl. That's excellent. Excellent idea.
The other question I have, I'm in a situation up here where things are really happening big time. I mean, financially and everything, with a lot of money going. And I think the governor just passed a bill for community colleges and stuff. And I think we're going to end up with $16 million over budget. And so we have our normal budget and everything, but the way we have county funds in addition to state and tuition. And we have, so now instead of a Dallas Community College system, what we have is Dallas College, and all 7 schools are involved in this. So my question is, I have access to 895 faculty members, all the people that are full-time faculty. They're not all scientists, obviously, but I didn't know how we can, what kind of invite could we make if I sent it out and said, well, come down to the bat thing in July, but I can send those out to 800 people. But more importantly, I can narrow that down to just the science people and tell them what's happening there. And we can get all 7 schools. So that's what I want to see, if we could meet sometime and talk about what we want to do and who we want to invite. You don't want to have 800
Okay, that sounds
people.
good. We might be able to adapt this flyer where this is make a difference. We might be able to adapt that.
I've got the flyer here that I'm copying off. I'm just, I don't know what limits we want to do, but if we can get into that 16 million before everybody else gets their hands on it. So
that's an excellent idea, Carl.
And so, but they didn't think the bill was going to pass, but apparently it's passed. And so there's a whole mess of things happening up here that not necessarily good, but they're happening. And so Jessica Silva, who was one of our former students that worked with the Big Thicket and everything, she's running an undergraduate research program. And we're gonna, so what we need to do is find out if we get some of that $16 million, or we can get it from somewhere else where we can establish people doing research work. But sooner, when we find out, there's a lot of greedy people in this business. So what we want to do is get in early. So if we, but she's doing undergraduate research work. So the problem is like what we did down there before. We're working on that. And the other thing to any of the scientists, we have 4 scanning electron microscopes now.
Right.
And one of them has, if you put the periodic table in, you can get a chemical analysis of whatever you put in there. So if you want to know how much calcium, we just spent $60,000 buying that piece to fit on the microscope. So we could get that news out too, and it's all free. The only thing that have to pay is for supplies, because everything else is free. We don't charge any money for using our equipment and stuff. We do charge for if you needed bottles or something. I don't know what we need, but
I think the ideal thing would be to have your group doing research like you've done in the past, or similar to what Matt Pine, did with his alligator group. And find what area of research, and Carl, you and I are going to get together and we're going to map out a plan here, because That is very helpful.
This used to be one school, Eastfield. Now everything's open to everybody. It's mandatory. We open it to everybody.
So we want to get
So-
our foot in the door quick.
Yeah, well, what I'm asking them, confronting them with is, how is that $15 million going to help these kids in South Dallas and stuff like that? One of them is to get them out into the field. And they were down with David doing mushrooms this weekend. So just one of the science classes was down there doing that.
Good,
So-
good. Now, even though David, I need to see if David might consider connecting with us again.
So if we can get just a time to just see what we want to do, because the money's maybe there might not be, but we certainly need to take a thing on conservation.
I'll talk to David. I'm going to talk to David again. Oh, thank you, Carl. So,
There's one other question I have for you.
okay,
One of the problems we have in the big thicket is we can't take out specimens and stuff like that unless you have a license and stuff.
right.
I don't know where the conflict came in because what we did down there was what we weren't taking samples, but I think we can get around that if we take a camera. And so we can get down there and identify species, and we don't have to cut them and take them out. What we
Right.
can do is photograph them, and that way we can get around if there's any problem with taking things out of the thicket.
Right. And there's
So-
the iNaturalist program that's super cool that I talked to Alex Stamatis, the ranger, and we're going to get together and do some kind of video where we could do a training for iNaturalists. I'm thinking like middle school and high school kids it's a really, really cool program. Are you familiar with it? Are you familiar with iNaturalist? You download it on your app and then you go and you take pictures and it will identify, and then it goes into a database. So it's similar to what we do, but it's just taking pictures, and it's not to the extent that it's not as advanced as what we do, but it would still be great for kids to be going out and learning how to identify species and then recording it. And then it does go into a database. So yeah, I'm going to work. That's one of my projects that I'm going to be working on. And
They've been out of Dallas, and they're all sitting in apartments and looking at their cell phones and everything. Once we can get them out into nature, it changes those lives. And just to tell you how great that project was, 93 kids were in the project, and 90 of them have college degrees, and one finished in the top 10 at Southwest Med School. So all of it was based on what that program did with the big thicket. I mean,
it
it's
sure
on
did. We're proud of that.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I just want to get with you.
Okay, I promise I'll get with you, Carl. I promise.
Okay. We'll get you-
Okay. All right. And then I haven't done anything on the science conference. I'm just keeping it on there because, it's, we're not doing it for a year, but I'm keeping it on there. So that's all I have.
Do you want me to send out a notice about to these people about the meeting on August 7th and 14th? Or do you think there'll be too many? There's a chance there'll be too many people, and there's a chance there won't be anybody. So I don't know.
I think the 14th would be great. The Science Cafe, I think will probably generate enough locally with the Science Cafe. I don't think, I think we might have a problem if we had a group coming from out of town. The 14th, we have a lot of space there. The 14th would be great. And I'll write something up too on different events, because BTA Day would be great as well. That would be a good opportunity for them to come out. And so there's a lot.
Educate the biologists. Our biology is terrible because Eastfield is doing field trips. There's nobody else in the 6 schools that do field trips. So we're trying to encourage them to get involved, but we're not doing that right now. So that's why I thought,
Yeah,
Makes-
and I don't know why our poor little FRS is slow. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Carl, I'll get with you. I appreciate everybody being on. I'm gonna make this meeting short and sweet and wish you all the best. And Bart, I'll email you some information.
Sounds
And
good.
you and I can Zoom sometime if you want, if you need a little help. And
Okay.
Carl, I think you and I need to Zoom as well privately and flesh this out.
Okay.
And so we've got more work ahead of us, but we're still going forward. That's what's important. So thank you all. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you, Catherine.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay.
Kim.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. We'll
Thank
take
you.
we'll take you every minute we can.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.